Shorting SMCI for funsies. Let's take a look at most. SMCI coming in pretty hard here. I might cover it a little bit. I shorted a little last night. I'll cover some for a loss. You know, the nice thing about SMCI is it's so volatile, it gives you a chance to win on no matter what position you take. Oh, look at DJT below 30. MicroStrategy below 3. Look, it's at 317. Okay, super micro, most volume traded. Intel, NVIDIA, Tesla, lithium company, never heard of, Lyft, Big Bear, Plug, Rigetti, you know, kind of falling out of the top 10 there. Not bullish at all. Palantir, Upstart. Upstart had a big quarter, I think. Alibaba, Apple, Micron, SoFi. There's D-Wave. For whatever reason, caught up in the quantum wave. Archer Aviation, another meme stock. Ford, CVS, NIO, Opendoor, surprising on the list, but only a $1 stock, so it doesn't really count. Vertiv, SoundHound, Lucid, and Marathon. Okay, let's look at gainers. Not too many gainers today in the dark tape, but actually plenty on this list. So Upstart, Mercury General, which I don't know. Angie is old Angie's list. Confluent, you know, the Kafka makers. We like Confluent over here. Calumet, Pitney Bowes, CVS, Chef's Warehouse, AdX, old drug company there. EHang, Spartan Nash, United Fire, Lithium Motors. I should look into that one. Hughes Holding, KE Holdings. That's BEKE. Is a Chinese one, I think. Gilead, huge quarter. Pharvaris, Easton Technologies, SynAI, which was on this list yesterday. Monarch Casino, Nova, Minerals, Sensata, and Hesai Group. And then something called Euphoria Therapeutics. All right. Losers, SimilarWeb down 43%. I'm a client of this thing. I didn't even know they were public. I had no clue they were public, actually. Almost $1 billion company. Star Surgical, OneStream, Teradata, Zillow, Bally's, Blackline, Allison Transmission, Conduent. Lyft had a bad quarter. Cornet, Vertiv, Chimera, Sylvamo, Studio City, Westinghouse Air, a bunch of companies I don't know. Ginkgo, perennial loser. Smurfit, old packaging company. Nano Dimension, 36KR Holdings. Waters, life sciences company. Eagle Materials and Martin Marietta. Okay, so interesting day. A lot of winners, a lot of losers. By value, Tesla's traded $5 billion so far. NVIDIA's moved $3 billion. Supermicro, $1 billion have traded. Berkshire, Microsoft, Apple, Palantir, Meta, all normalized to be trading a lot. Alibaba, Intel, Amazon. Micron down quite a bit. It's traded $400 million of volume today. Upstart, $500-600 million. Alphabet, kind of low volume, to be honest. Alphabet's only traded $400 million. It's a $2 trillion company, so really not much liquidity relative to the market cap. Vertiv, MicroStrategy, again up there. Broadcom, CVS, AMD, Alphabet, AMAT, Gilead, Netflix, all normal. Tempest AI, not so normal, up on this list with the most liquid giants. So that's it for what's going on. Quantum catching a small bit here. SMCI fading after a big short squeeze. A lot of short sellers expecting just a mild version, maybe purgatory. Yeah, it's enjoyable to trade SMCI because you basically get a 30-40 cent swing every minute. You know, it's very forgiving. You might have to take a loss, but generally you're going to get out of every trade you do, long or short, with a profit, which is kind of amazing if you think about it. You know, it's hard to take long-term projections of any company too seriously, especially if they're not filing their SEC filings. I just go by quarter. Their 25 guidance was pretty huge drop there, and they might do another huge drop for all we know. Well, I wouldn't look at trailing PE. We write a lot of JavaScript, well, TypeScript. We write a lot of Java. We write a lot of Python. I don't know what SMCI will do. I'm not sure I was ever that bullish on Santa. I sold my stock the day I bought it. I'm kind of bearish on SMCI now. I was bullish. I'm not long VKTX, but I do like the GLP space, and I like that stock. But it's, you know, it's one of these stocks where obviously we've been wrong on it, and some people think there's serious issues with that drug. That's pretty worrisome. We should add it to our endocrinology list, actually. Don't know Coursera that much. The Google stock difference is a voting shares, I believe. I'm mostly focused with respect to trading on just the quantum computing stocks, the big two, quantum computing stocks, Rigetti and IonQ. Just deeply short both of those. That's my main focus right now. There's a lot of people on Twitter talking about it, VKTX, Daniel. So you can go search VKTX on Twitter and you'll see all the people complaining about, not complaining, I mean, some of them are accusing of specific issues. We've basically just been short quantum for a month. No, I'm not much of a vol seller. I would rather sell vol than buy it. Okay, so I've been working on AMGEN for the last day or so. One of my favorite biotech companies I've looked at for decades. I'm a big fan of Anduril, a lot of friends who work there. I don't, it's just not my job to go out and sell premium. That's somebody else's job. It's not a simple job. It's a lot of work. You got to be a vol expert. I'm not a vol expert. I'm a biotech expert. The best APIs for finance, you're going to have to deal with very, very large companies who will not work with a single person. They're looking for multi-million-dollar contracts. Yeah, Coursera sounds interesting. Definitely sounds interesting. We could take a look. Yeah, there's a secondary market for Anduril. You kind of have to pay through the nose for it, but I think they're doing a new fundraising as well. Not really looking at too many IPOs. AMGEN's probably a buy. I still have more work to do. You know, a lot of times when it comes to like an industry that you just want to follow really closely, a big thing that you're trying to do is not just come up with a stock pick, but also like really understand, you know, that space. Because if it's your job to be a biotech expert or a software expert or a semiconductor expert or whatever, it's actually kind of more important that you know the details and fundamentals of the company than it is that you pick stock. You know, now some of us are trying to just make money, and that's fine. In which case, my approach you should probably shift it a little bit. But my approach is not only just to make money, but also to really be an expert in the space, which is kind of a more amorphous and abstract goal. And I found over the years that, you know, try to serving both goals kind of helps. It certainly helps, you know, to be more thorough. You can't hurt your investing. It's definitely a good thing. You know, you don't have to be that thorough to like figure out what the main issues of a stock are. Like a lot of these little drugs for AMGEN, they're not going to make much of a difference. You know, they're pretty minor details. In a world where you want to get hired, you know, or you want to have a lateral kind of career opportunity, you know, it's good to know every detail. Yeah, TA is pretty cringe to me too, but you know, I'd also not knock the way people make money. You know, if that's the way they profit, then, you know, who are you to, if somebody's profiting trading with astrology, so be it. You know, it's not your business. Let them do it. It's pretty hard to watch the market and also manage the company. Ooh, SMCI 43. Yeah, Matt's exactly right. But the thing is, like, if you know a space really, really well, you know, you don't have to be a good trader to make money. You know, you might try to trade and, oh, you suck at trading, but you know every drug in the whole drug industry. Well, that's valuable. That's really valuable. You can get rich a different way. And maybe you hook up with the guy that really knows how to trade and you're his analyst. That's fine. What's wrong with that? You know, plenty of money to be made in any which way. Oh, AMGEN's investing pretty big in this drug. It's not just about return. It's a lot of things that go into being a good investor. I don't trade bonds, but I'm going to start just because I want to make sure they're good for godel. Patience and ability to change your mind, and ability to have conviction, which is the opposite. Yeah, part of being a good trader is your max drawdown. That's the most important thing to an investor. What is your max drawdown is the critical question. Another one is, what is your annualized volatility? You know, medicine takes a lot of work to understand. Probably takes about, you know, a lifetime of studying, but you might know some other field really well. If you don't know any field really well, I would get started. Could be software, could be semiconductors, could be retail, could be restaurants, could be anything. Pick and study. That's what I would do. It doesn't come down to knowledge and plenty of MD PhDs on Wall Street. It's more about logic. I mean, there's plenty of people who can, you know, become a researcher. They go through the motions to do it, but they're not necessarily always logical. You know, human emotions and bias cloud much judgment. People get very addicted to a research hypothesis. 𝗕𝗏𝗃𝗧 is such a sad, kind of like fraudulent company, aka 𝗕𝗏𝗡. I'm interested in trading bonds because I manage a software company that does financial information. And that financial information, a big part of that is bonds. So I just want to understand them better and be able to provide the best financial information I can to clients. If you think you could help me with that, send me an email. I can hire you as a consultant, but you'd have to be a bond expert. Or maybe you give me some advice for free. Who knows? We're not looking for too many entry-level people. We're only looking for people who live in New York. Looking for interns either. William, we're working on debugging it. It's apparently too complex for the browser. It kind of crashes the browser, so we have to... A lot of the guys I know don't want to be bothered. You know, so if there's somebody out there that'll get in line with me and be patient and answer my stupid questions. I use Chrome. We mostly develop for Chromium, but, you know, like a good software company, we look at every browser. Well, the first tip I give you is that people like me don't want people who will learn from them. I want you to work and provide value for me. I'm not trying to provide value for you. I don't care about you. I care about you working for me and making me money. So don't approach somebody and say, I wish I could learn from you, because that's just not, you're not thinking about it correctly. You're supposed to be providing value everywhere you go to work, not, oh, I get to learn. You're going to learn by osmosis, but that's not a sales pitch. I don't know if D-Wave had news or not, but D-Wave's always a good short. They really believe that annealing is useful for something, but they also look at the income statement and don't see any revenue, and they can't resolve this paradox. They're just like, I wonder why that's the case. Oh well. Yeah, Sean, we purposefully have not marketed the product yet. We're still working on finishing touches. We got a lot. We actually have a lot to do, so it's not just finishing touches. We have a lot to do on options. We have a lot to do on bonds, currencies, commodities, foreign stocks. So when we go out there, I don't think annealing is good for optimization. You could just use classical computing. I've never seen a case where annealing actually beats classical. There's classical approximations that are better. Yeah, we don't have a fantastic crypto product yet. Futures are coming very soon. I don't think it's too late to learn the code. Absolutely not. I would learn the code yesterday. You can't execute on Godel. It's not an execution. It's a research tool. You know, at least piping your API through Godel, and then at some point, you know, God forbid, becoming a broker dealer. You know, I don't want to compete with Robinhood and all those guys. But Bloomberg's not really market data. They're really almost everything they do is terminal based. Asian market soon. Mirrored molecules. Do you mean chiral? Usually when you file a patent and there's chirality, you discuss that. I think AI has a really tough problem with compositional thinking. So it might be many years before AI can really do a lot of programming. It can do like 50 to 100 lines of code, maybe even up to 500 lines of code well, but it breaks down pretty quickly after that. There's a quadratic problem there. Nobody's really been able to figure out. I'm sure it'll be figured out someday, but a lot of software engineering is not just tedious plugging and chugging. It's also about architecting systems that make sense. We don't have a tutorial, but if you type help or you ask questions in chat, you should be able to read a little tutorial. I think we do have a tutorial. It's on Notion, but I don't know what the link is. Somebody should be able to paste it in here. Yeah, exactly. I'm not your friend. You know, just because I live stream doesn't make you my buddy. You don't know me. I let you into my life a little bit, but that doesn't mean that I care about you or form like some close bond with you. That's called a parasocial relationship. Stop being weird. I'm just a guy that likes stocks, not Amaranth. I'm not going to try to trick you into thinking that you might become my boyfriend. There's no chance you're going to become my boyfriend. I love Amaranth, man. I simp for her, no problem. Karina Kopf, Amaranth, I'm sipping for all y'all. She just might look at my message, and it might be the start of something special. You never know.
Yeah.
You're telling me marking it short or long, the trade's going to clear either way. There's no lack of shares that people will lend out. You're upset because you want to stop me from selling your stock. Get out of here. I think psychologically, this is just an accountability problem. Everyone wants to be rich. buying the wrong stocks makes you feel like maybe, you've been cheated somehow. And if you've been cheated, because you picked the wrong stock, you want to blame somebody else. Obviously, the person to blame is yourself. You picked it, you bought it, but there's no way you could be wrong, right? It's funny, even Matt Nachtrab, who mentioned the other day, he's like, oh yeah, Shkreli was right, but not for the right reasons. And like, so you think my 40-page report was right by accident? I missed it. I missed something. You just gotta admit, you should never have been involved in biotech in the first place. Well, usually being right is making money. That's sort of a stupid saying. Now, very few companies threaten me on the short seller side. You're only right if your trade makes money. So it's just a tautological nonsense. Semantic tricks that mean nothing. I'd rather run a company than trade it. Deficit reduction might reduce growth. Eventually, it's positive for GDP. Day trading advice, make your positions smaller. Biggest mistake everyone makes. Position's too big. You can always be better at investing, I look at the way I used to invest and laugh. I really thought I knew what I was doing, and under no circumstance did I actually knew what I was doing. Trying to look at this one stock. You guys are throwing hundreds of stocks at me. I'm not Jim Cramer. It's funny, they approved this thing without a control arm. Hey, Rigetti's back up. I think it's important to study academic finance. May not be that translational to reality, but yeah, Rigetti will probably go bankrupt someday. I don't know what year specifically. Usually it takes a little longer than you think. I don't think the specific year matters in terms of like this year versus last year. There's no like reset on January 1st mentally. My favorite drug is probably Rituxan. It's kind of a really cool drug. It's a real sea change in medicine when that came out. Maybe Herceptin as well. Hemlibra is pretty cool the way it works. There's so many great drugs. I love them all. Every drug is a little miracle. A little miracle of science. The idea that we could design these substances atom by atom and they actually would do something that helps you is incredible. If you think about it. Really interesting. Sierra charts. I think I vaguely remember these guys. Let's see. This is old HTML5 website here, but maybe the actual system's pretty good. It also looks like an old system. Cool. I'll check it out. It's definitely interesting. Yeah. Any tools that you guys want us to make in Godel, just tell us, and I'd be more than happy to do it. We have a long list that we're working on, but if you want something and some other tool that you've been using and you want it in Godel, I'm happy to do it. Yeah, so that's a good question, Robert. We spent a lot of time on that. I think we're going to use TradingView's charting library, but in the long run, a big part of our company is going to be data visualization. So like ultimately we have to be able to do serious data viz. So D3 is obviously, a good choice there. Yeah, we definitely have broker integration coming. I don't know what you mean by meme stocks auto watch list. Do you want like just a pre-populated watch list of memes? We have News 2.0 just about to roll out, but that could go into 3.0. Yeah, it's hilarious. The Rigetti baggies they don't realize there's like 8 other companies ahead of Rigetti. They're not really taking that seriously in the quantum community. It's just bizarre. Like make a few phone calls, go on a few message boards, like go do a little work. Jack, Bloomberg has a whole Bloomberg University. So Autodesk has, if you want to use Autodesk software, there's a 1,000-page book. So powerful software requires, quite a bit of learning curve. That's why Bloomberg is so expensive and people love it. It doesn't take long to learn either. You got to invest a little bit of time. Like imagine looking at some complex molecular docking software and like, it should be intuitive. It's not intuitive because it's difficult. Nah, the navigation is the good part about Bloomberg. That's the whole point. It's like, how many menus would you need to look at everything in the stock and bond market? How many clickable GUIs do you need? I mean, it's just too much. That's why the command line works. It's the same thing with PowerShell or Linux. Yeah, you boost your productivity like 50% plus. We're not going for GUI customers. Learn the terminal or not, or use Yahoo Finance. Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna have Brazil. I don't know when the app's gonna come out. It might be a while. I know people want a desktop app. Did Vlad work in CGI? Honestly, we wouldn't mind changing the godel name. It's not a fantastic name. Yeah, we'll do business in Asia. Grid snapping coming, don't worry. Our company's called DL Software, so GoDL. It's godel. Well, that's the whole idea of the focus, Daniel. But yeah, we're always going to be improving the UI a little bit. Our company's valuation is something we talk to our investors about, not random internet people. We don't use Go. Ooh, I like that Galaxy terminal. And then if you type gas, enter, a little like a little effect comes on. I helped on godel v2, but for v3, most of the code is written by other people. I do product stuff. The 𝗂𝗏𝗡 is worthless. Not a lot of Canadian stocks because there's just not many biotech stocks in Canada. We dedicate this software to 𝗍𝗏𝗡𝗄. Sacrifice touched all of our lives. Product is good. It gets no respect, but 𝗕𝗏𝗡𝗏 product. It might be positive or negative depending on how you look at it. I like that ladder attack indicator. Ladder attack in progress. Brace yourselves. I haven't looked at the Swedish biotech stocks in a while. I'd like to. Just so busy. Elvis is worthless. ANVS? Sorry, man. You've been scammed. They're already doing a biosimilar to 𝗥𝗄𝗄𝗧. That's wild. ABP 692, ocrelizumab. Multiple sclerosis. That's a CD20 from Roche. Wild. AMGEN biosimilar is going to make a fortune. I mean, why would it look good, dude? Do you know anything about biotech? It's a fake company, man. There's some pure play biosimilars. You got to look around a little harder. Yeah, man. A lot of scams out there. True to biosimilar looks pretty fire. Going to be a lot of biosimilars. Between that and Opdivo and 𝗥𝗏𝗃𝗧, it's not bad. Yeah, I'm friends with Amjad. He's the man. He used to watch these streams when he was building Replit. Now he's got a $1 billion company. I love that. I love that. Amgen's going to have a tough next 5 years. They'll be fine, I guess. The biosimilars help a lot. They really need one of these other drugs to come through. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is going to sell that well. I don't think any of these other drugs have very high risk of not working. One or two of them will probably work. So what do you got? 311, stocks at 290. Yeah, you want to get good sleep at night. I mean, you don't want to be up all night. My dad worked at night. Amgen's okay long. Not too bad.